I am weak. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to Season 2, Episode 2 of Hazbin Hotel. Yeah, I'm recording this on Tuesday because I couldn't wait. I'm weak. I wanted to wait. I was planning on waiting, but it's just like it just kept eating at me. Um so I might end up recording these like twice a week. You're still only going to see one reaction a week. I want to specify that. But I might be recording these ahead of time just to keep caught up a little easier. So I might record them like on Tuesdays and Fridays. That way I'm getting to them like still paced apart, but a little quicker. It's just a case of I'm really into this series. And I really don't want to have to like I just don't want to wait, which is weird for me because usually I'm pretty good with waiting. I prefer to wait in most cases because I don't like binging shows. But I guess there's occasionally a show out there that just like really hooks me in a way that few others do. And I hate that Hazbin Hotel is becoming one of them because it's like I really love this series and I want to have that pacing in between because I do genuinely believe, and based on experience, it will make the reactions better because it builds it up better and allows me to get more excited. Um, and so I feel like it is good to still have a wait between, but at the same time, it's like I really want to get to more. It just the biggest issue is that they're releasing it twice a week, or not twice a week, but 2 episodes weekly. That's the biggest issue. That's on them, not me. I'll take responsibility for a lot of shit, but not that. They're the ones who are choosing to have that 2 episode release schedule because the binging model has fucked up show releases for probably ever. And it's causing me a lot of like, how do I put it? It's not like irritation, but it's causing me a lot of anxiety over possibly being spoiled because I've been doing good. I have not been spoiled too much of anything from this episode. The only thing I know is that Sir Pentious is involved in it, which is not a surprise because like with where last episode left off and with the fact that we haven't seen Pentious in this season yet, it's like yeah, fair. That's reasonable. I kind of assumed that anyway. So that's not even really that bad, but I want to avoid as much as I can. And there wasn't much discussion of anything, at least not any place I was at Youmacon this past weekend. Um so it's not like I was spoiled to anything there. There was a panel for Hazbin Sing Along. I didn't go to it because I was afraid there would be spoilers for mainly for the second episode. But I actually heard that they didn't do any of the new songs from this season yet because they wanted to actually respect people who hadn't seen the new episodes yet. Which, kudos to the people running that panel. Good on them. That's so respectful of them. I mean, I didn't end up going to it anyway, but still, it's like, I'm glad that they did that. That's really cool. But yeah, I've avoided, like, all other spoilers. Apparently, the song from last time I did hear was released months early, and people were bitching about it. The first song from episode 1, I should specify. The Has Been Guarantee. slash trust us. Um, yeah, apparently that song was released months ahead of time. Um, which they did the same thing with season one, and I hated when they did that. I really hate when they release stuff like that, like ahead of the actual episode's release. Um, and not just for this show, for anything that does that. But yeah, it's like they released it months ahead of time, which I guess if I did hear about that, I forgot because I swear I didn't know that they released the song ahead of time. But I never heard it, and I guess I didn't even know what the title was because I didn't recognize ever hearing the title of that song before. But yeah, apparently people didn't like it and thought it sounded bad and were like bitching about it. I'm like, what? They were saying it didn't sound like it belonged in Hazbin Hotel. Like the sound of it, I don't know how it's described. The sound of it was off, and I'm thinking to myself, like, the fuck are you talking about? And I found this out because after I reacted to the first episode, at some point, like I did see a TikTok, and the person I was saying was like talking about it, or maybe it was a reaction. It might have been a reaction that I watched. Either way, they were talking about it. And it's like, um, oh, this was the song that everybody hated that was released months ago. But it was like the video never, and the person in the video never explained like what exactly why. It was just something about like, again, um the way it sounded. They didn't like the way, like, I guess Vox and Velvet and other characters sounded in their part, I guess. And I'm just thinking like, huh? Because it sounded amazing to me. It sounded fantastic. It was a great song. I did see Danny Mata's reaction, and in that he did say that uh, it felt like Happy Day in Hell from season one, where it's like to him, it just feels like a good song, but nothing special, nothing he's really going to like love. And I think that's fair. I can see the comparisons to Happy Day in Hell, but while it definitely is a setup song, like preparing us for the rest of the season, I think it's still a really good song. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, this apparently wasn't very popular, I guess. I don't know. I liked it. This was a very strong start. I liked everything that they did in the premiere. A lot of cool stuff that they really have set in motion. Vaggie working on trying to figure out a new name. We have Emily coming in and overloading Charlie with a shit ton of information. Baxter, our new character, who is already quite enjoyable. The Dexter's Lab vibes are immaculate. You have Lucifer just being a phenomenal father, Alistair being a little shit. What's new there for either of them? And you get to see a lot of the developments that started last season. You get to see like Cherry mourning Pentious and like actually reciprocating some of those feelings. You see Angel Dust wanting to go to therapy with Charlie because he's actually grown to appreciate talking about his feelings, and it's helping him. You see, even like speaking of Angel Dust, him and Husk's relationship. Yeah, they're still like bitchy at each other a little bit, but you also see they're a lot more jokey and a lot more comfortable around each other. Um, Even like teasing each other a bit. It's cute. It's fun. I love shit like that where it's you get to see the progress of characters in a natural way. Um, there's also something, and I mentioned this on the Discord as well, but there was also something that I noticed. The more I watched episode one, whether it's like watched on my own time again and again, watched it with other people's reactions, I watched it with my sister, and there was things that I noticed that I didn't immediately notice in my first watch. Of course, that always happens. But one thing I noticed is something that, like, kind of, I guess, grew on me the more I rewatched the episode. Is it just me, or is Vaggie aggressively prettier than in season one? Like, hear me out here. I always thought Vaggie was very attractive. She's an attractively drawn character. She's meant to be, and she's always been, very, like, interesting as well in terms of her lore, her character, her personality. Um, so so I always liked Vaggie, and I liked what they did with her in season one, with the angel stuff, with Adam, with her relationship with Charlie. But in the first episode of this season, it's like, it's, I guess, partially the hairstyle, partially the way they draw her eyes, and she has, like, I guess, new lipstick, um and just her expressions in general, stuff like that. The way she's just drawn, she is actively more pretty to me. And I don't know if that sounds weird or not. It's not intended to sound weird, but it's just like, she feels more, like, attractive. And not like, and I'm using the word pretty intentionally. I want to make that clear. I'm not like, I wouldn't use the term hot or cute or anything, but like pretty, like classically pretty. And I think it is like a combination of all these things, but it's just like, it's just something I noticed, like, rewatching the episode so many times. And it's just like, none of the other characters look like they've changed, like, that noticeably in their expressions and design and everything. And I know, like, the art style and animation has improved a bit, but it's like everyone else looks pretty much as I would say, as I remember them. But let's be honest, I've been rewatching season one quite a lot, because I do that. I hyperfixate on shit. And it's not even a matter of remembrance at this point, because I've seen season one again semi recently. But it's a case of, like, it's just her specifically, at least for now. Everybody else, again, looks pretty much the same. But for some reason, Vaggie just stands out. And that's just wild to me. Very, very much, I'm okay with it. I definitely am very okay with it. You know, this channel is called Princess of Gay. I'm maybe specifically pansexual, but I am gay as fuck. Like, I do tend to lean a little bit more towards femme individuals with my pansexuality. Uh, Not by choice or anything. It's just like a natural leaning. Um, and obviously that's not perfect. I like plenty of masc and just androgynous individuals as well. I just like people. People are hot. But yeah, it's just, I am very gay, and Vaggie is just doing something for me. Like, at least in episode one. It's like she wasn't even like top three for me in terms of like season one, in terms of attractiveness. I always definitely thought Charlie was just better looking than her, or, Velvet, or Cherry, Angel, obviously. But I can't, I don't know. She's just doing something for me this season. Again, it might be like the combination of a bunch of things, the way the eyes and mouth are animated, just expressions in general, the lipstick, the new hairstyle and outfit. I think it's a combination of things rather than any one specific thing. Anyway, we've talked about this quite a bit, and now we're going to get into the episode. So, like I said, you're still seeing this on Friday. You're still seeing this the day this is supposed to come out. I'm just recording this early because I'm weak and can't wait. So, let's get into this, see what this episode has in store for us. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Dancing bears, painted wings, things I almost remember, and a song someone sings once upon a December. Sorry, I'm kind of losing it right now. Once Upon a December is, no joke in my opinion, probably one of my favorite songs ever. For those who don't know, it's from the classic Don Bluth movie Anastasia. Liz Calloway is the singing voice for Anastasia, who sings the song Once Upon a December. And she's the speaker of God, and it's like, I knew I recognized the singing voice. I didn't recognize her voice when she was just speaking. I recognized it when she was singing specifically, because again, Once Upon a December, I think, is one of my favorite songs ever, period. It's so absolutely stunningly, like, unbelievably beautiful and tragic and sad. And I knew I recognized the voice. When I saw the name in the credits, I'm like, I thought that was her, and it's like, I wasn't 100% sure, so I didn't want to say anything, so I wanted to wait to look it up afterwards. And it's like, oh my god, I'm a mess. And of course, the song, her performance here was absolutely stunning. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. It's like, and the funny thing is, I said Lute's song, Gravity, I think it's called. I said that's like exactly my genre, but it's not my favorite song from this episode. I want to make that very clear. While I like rock, while it's my preferred genre, rock and classic rock, pop punk, metal, anything like that is more my genre of music. Sarah and the Speakers song was just the gorgeous vocals and the meaning and depth of it was definitely more of my thing. Okay, again, not really more of my thing genre-wise, but in terms of the lyrics, in terms of the vocal performances, and that's not to take away from Lute's performance here. She obviously did amazing. Her VA did amazing with that song, and obviously you had Alex Brightman joining in with it. And we did get to hear a little bit of Patrick Stump sing for Abel, but it was mostly as part of the group. He had one line during the song that was his own, the Santa line, but it wasn't really sung. He just kind of spoke it during the song. So we didn't really get to hear Patrick Stump really singing notably. Again, outside of the ensemble singing for that song, but also 3 songs. I guess you could technically argue there were 3 in the first episode, but I really count the Hazbin Guarantee and Trust Us as one song, just 2 different portions to it. Because it's it even ends after the V's part of it. It even ends with both sides of it coming together to finish the song off. So that's one song. It's just 2 separate parts to it. And then you have the song at the end with Going Up There, or whatever it's called. And then in this one, You have the song with where they're welcoming Pensius to heaven. That is very clearly a different song than what's going on with Sarah and the speaker. Like that's you can't make the same argument as you do with the first two parts of the song in episode one. You can't make that same argument there. And then you have Lute's song, and so it's like there are three songs in this episode. So that's wild. Um, and definitely the song with them welcoming Pensius to heaven was the weakest. It like just really did not stand up to the other two. Um, Again, musically in terms of like music genre that I just prefer, I would say Gravity is better. But in terms of like combining that with the lyrics and the vocal performances and everything else, the meaning and depth to it, I just preferred overall Sarah and the Speaker's song, which I don't know all of the names just yet, so we'll get that down because I'll definitely be watching the episode many more times. I'll be listening to the songs many more times. But yeah, um, so I'm definitely thinking Lute's going to escape prior to heaven being fully sealed. In the same way that, Emily was able to briefly go and tell Charlie, which we saw the other side of that this time. Because Lute is kind of on a warpath of vengeance. She's just gone completely insane from everything. And the fact that, like, the others are kind of turning against her in this argument, the fact that she's not even allowed to lead the exorcists because Abel gets that by birthright. And, she doesn't like Abel because he's weak in her eyes. I guess the same reason Adam didn't like him. So this is yeah, she's more than likely going to leave heaven prior to the sealing. She's probably going to go down to hell, and she's probably going to be like another notable antagonist for us. I don't know what the deal with Lilith is going to be. Like, we got to see her briefly here, just ignoring messages and calls. So nothing new. No new information there. Peter, interestingly, had a role in this. He seems pretty buddy-buddy with Abel, which, yeah, based on their personalities, that tracks. um, and you bet your ass people are already shipping them. I bet you 100% that there is an Abel and St. Peter ship already sailed. Well, not sailed, but you know what I mean. I like the concept of Pensius like being redeemed, but then not wanting to stay in heaven because he misses all his friends. He's trying to find any way he can to go back down, even attempting to commit suicide to do so. Which, wow, that was an interesting way to integrate that into the episode. um, yeah, but it makes sense because again, the reason he was redeemed in the first place was because of his friends. He self-sacrificed in order to protect and save them. I'm blurry. Have I been blurry? Like, I hope I haven't been blurry this entire time. Uh, I'll fix this real quick while we're talking. But yeah, it's like he sacrificed himself because he was trying to save Cherry and save his friends in general, and so it's like by being redeemed and being separated from them now, that kind of like it kind of like goes against the entire point he did it in the first place. And so him being like depressed and everything at first of being in heaven and not being able to see them is like, I didn't actually consider that possibility when we saw at the end of last season that he got redeemed. I did not consider the possibility that he would really hate it. Excuse me. That just never really occurred to me. But then on top of it, we get backstory. We find out that his name back when he was living alive on Earth was Pendleton. We don't know like the full name. We just know Pendleton. He lived in 1888's London, and he actually witnessed at least one of the murders of Jack the Ripper. probably the most famous serial killer in history. He witnessed a murder, um, and he recognized him. He knew who Jack the Ripper was. That's very much obviously going to come back at some point. I assume Jack the Ripper is going to be in hell. So he knew who he was. He was a client of Pendleton's. And so he chose not to do anything because he didn't want to get involved. He didn't want to like out his client and lose the business. He was selfish. And he was also, scared. But his refusal to turn this guy in, his refusal to do anything about Jack the Ripper, is apparently what got him sent to hell, we find out. Because Pencha said that the guy would go on to murder like 5 more, right? Which implies that the one he saw killed was like the first one. And that's really fascinating as well. Because that also basically puts him as almost guilty by refusal to act. And so I guess that's enough to go to hell. I guess. And his self-sacrifice was literally the opposite kind of route of that. He refused to help people in need and for his own sake. And so sacrificing like himself, doing something so selfless instead of selfish, is what got him redeemed, because it was the one thing that was keeping him from heaven, I guess. So yeah, that's really interesting in and of itself. Outside of just the song and the phenomenal voice performance and everything, the Speaker of God coming into play is very interesting, because it's like because we know Sarah is the leader of the Seraphim, kind of has like this royalty vibe. We understand that, even referred to as Your Highness and all. But the Speaker of God is like multiple levels up from that. Like this is literally the angel who speaks on behalf of God. Like, that's high ranking. Like that, it's pretty much just the personal assistant to God, which is like, yeah, she kind of outclasses everyone here. So Lute, you might want to stop bitching at her. You will get sent down to hell. Also, by the way, the Speaker of God is like just has a gorgeous design. Just wanted to put that out there too. The like golden like bird like design is just really, really gorgeous. But yeah, this was insane to see that kind of like power pop up. We're getting a little bit of a feel for Heaven's power structure with this episode. And I feel like Lute's self-destructive nature right now is definitely just going to lead to her death. Because it's like she's ignoring Heaven's order. She's obviously going to escape Heaven before it's fully sealed off. And she's either going to be killed in hell by someone down there. It'd be funny if it was Nifty again. Or the angels are going to come back for her. Or, well, not come back, but come to hell to get her and possibly kill her. So it's going to be very interesting. Also, this kind of plays into the fact, if she goes down there and they have to fight and kill her, it's like people are going to see that, like, with the media and with, VTV and everything. It's like, oh, but you said you don't kill angels. You said you want peace. It's like, yeah, that could cause some issues, I feel. We didn't actually see the hotel or any of the denizens down in hell in this episode. Like, it showed, again, what led into Emily going to say hi to Charlie and tell her everything. But this entire episode was in heaven. and it centered fully on the heavenly characters and Penchas, which I mean you count as a heavenly character at this point. Um, so that's really interesting too. That we got a full episode with no Charlie, no Vaggie, no Angel, none of them. But of course, I definitely still want to talk about Sarah, because in season one, I don't know if you remember, but I was very much against Sarah. I kind of hated her because it was very clear she not only knew about the exorcism, she was like literally leading them outside of like even above Adam, and that she believed it was like something she needed to do and all. But she also believed in the same kinds of things that Adam and Luke did, and very much felt that there was no possibility of redemption and that the people in hell were just evil and terrible and beyond saving. And she was a bitch, let's be honest. But I've always said that if Sarah were to get redeemed, as long as it's done well and as long as she like realizes this herself, I'm good for it. Like, I don't want it to be forced on her to where she has to be redeemed. I would rather her actually like come to terms with that, and she did, and I'm really happy they did it this way. Because she didn't believe at the start of this episode. But then she starts to like really think about it, and with everything she's heard and seen, it's like she can't really deny it anymore, especially with like, you know, the speaker of God coming in. And then she has that entire bomb ass beautiful song about how she was wrong, how she realizes like she was like really on the wrong side of this, and now she's super conflicted because she's still trying to protect heaven. And she is worried now that because of everything that's occurred, there are people in hell that could cause problems. But she also realizes that she was wrong about a lot of things, and like she realizes that yeah, there's a lot of people in hell that probably could be redeemed. And so she's just trying to figure out what to do, and I think like closing off heaven for the time being is kind of a coping mechanism more than anything. I feel like it's her way to buy time so she can figure something else out. But she's definitely not on Lute's side anymore. She's definitely not on like that side in general, much less on Lute's, and that's a good thing. So we're making progress. She's come to these terms on her own, without being forced into it. She's figured it out just through, you know, thinking about what's being said and what she's hearing, what she's seeing. And she's just realized it's like, no, she was wrong. And so, yeah, all good for that. But, yeah, this episode was not as. I feel like I would say it's not as entertaining as episode one was. Um, but it was still really great. It had some fantastic songs, had some really good moments. Um, I wish Emily was a little more conscious of Penchas's feelings. Like I understand, like she does obviously understand that he's going through a lot. Like that's why she like got him the new egg boys, the heavenly egg boys, and is like even made up that room for him and all. Like she's trying to help, but she's also not good at it. And what I'm meaning is, like, you know, you see in the episode how she, especially during her song, she's trying to get him to move on. And I feel like that's unfair. Because, again, of why he was redeemed in the first place, but also, it's like, he's lonely, he's depressed, he wants his friends, the friends he died for, again. And so it's like it's understandable, and Emily's just trying to kind of like just rush through everything in heaven to show off how cool it is, and like say he'll have so much fun here, and meanwhile he's just getting more and more depressed, trying to find a way out, trying to literally kill himself to get back to hell. And it's just like Jesus. um Emily really could be a little more attentive about that stuff. And I get that she's like younger than like Sarah and everything, and she's very excitable and whatnot, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with being excitable. But she's like, it's causing problems here, right? At least with Pentious. Mind you, he does seem to come around, and he, I guess, from what we gather, accepts Emily as a friend at the end. And he has his new egg boys, and he's coming around. He's like kind of like getting less depressed, but it's also one of those occasions where he's kind of just doing it because he has to. Like he definitely still wants to see them, and we see that like when Emily goes to talk to Charlie, we see he wants to like see her too. So yeah, still very depressing, still very sad, but all in all, um, well handled enough to where it allows me to be okay with it. And I feel like it's going to end out well enough anyway. Um the problem is that we do know the V's are wanting to invade heaven. We do know that Vox has like planned that out. So we know that the fears that Sarah and the others are having are valid. But I'm wondering, like, what if before that can even happen, what if our heroes invade to try and see Pentious or something? And, like, they're mistaken for invading for bad reasons. Though I don't know how and when that would happen because, again, heaven being sealed, but I guess we'll have to see. Like, I'm very, very interested to see where this season goes. Very strong star right off the bat. Um, Hope you've enjoyed this. And like I said in the pre thoughts, while I will probably end up recording these at like twice a week, like probably Tuesdays and Fridays, you're still only going to see the episodes once a week. So you're seeing this on Friday. You're not going to see episode 3 until next Friday, no matter when I record it. So just letting you know that ahead of time. But yeah, I really, really, really enjoyed this, and I I hope that it continues to be this good. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in. I want to say, even though there's no more episodes out as of when I'm putting, or as of when I'm recording this, there will obviously be when this comes out, and as well, a lot of people watch the trailers and stuff, so I'm just going to say this for that as well. No spoilers. Do not spoil me on anything regarding what the trailer shows, what any episodes I haven't reacted to shows. Even if you think like, oh, you've probably recorded this by now, if it's not up, do not spoil. I want to remain as spoiler free as possible, and I just want to play it safe with that. I really do not want this show spoiled for me. So, thank you all so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts down below. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See you all next time.